Well, we start with breaking developments on the Israel-Gaza war. In the last hour or so, the United Nations has said that it has been told by the Israeli military that more than 1 million Palestinians must leave the northern Gaza Strip within the next 24 hours. In a statement, the UN spokesman Stefan Dujarric said that the United Nations considers it impossible for such a movement to take place without devastating humanitarian consequences. The United Nations strongly appeals for any such order, if confirmed, to be rescinded, avoiding what could transform what's already a tragedy into a calamitous situation. Well, this is the scene live in Gaza, where it has just turned 7 o'clock in the morning. The United Nations said that the order by the Israeli military also applies to all of its staff and those sheltered in UN facilities, including schools, health centres and clinics there. And a Hamas official, quoted by the Reuters news agency, said that the relocation warning from Israel was fake propaganda. Well, let's give you a sense of the geography in Gaza. This is a map of Israel where you can see Gaza and the West Bank marked. What the Israeli military is saying is that everyone living in northern Gaza should relocate to the southern end in the next 24 hours. That's more than 1 million people, around half of the population of the entire Gaza Strip. Well, let's speak now to my colleague from BBC Arabic, Saeed Shaharta. What do you make, Saeed, of what we've heard in the last hour from the United Nations, from Israel via the United Nations? It sounds as if things could be escalating in the next 24 hours or so.
It looks like that, because if you look at the density of the population in Gaza, 2 million, living on 88 square miles, so it's about 21,000 per square mile. So to move half of them to another part, this will be a crisis. It's going to have, like, as the United Nations mentioned, humanitarian consequence for that. I think Israel doing that in order to make it easier for the ground assault. So it makes, because there is many tanks, hundreds of thousands of reservists of Israeli troops came to join from different places in the world, and so Israel pushing for that, and all some military inside Israel supporting that, saying we cannot destroy Hamas without the ground assault. So I think Israel trying to put pressure on the people on Gaza to move in order to avoid any casualties, because there is many people dying. It's more than 1,500 people and more than like 5,000 injured. Besides that, the blockade, like no food, no electricity. So all of that humanitarian, I think it's making the picture is gloomy, and it will put pressure on other countries, especially on America and Blinken in his visit to Jordan, to do something in order to defuse that, because I think it will might make reaction from other parties, which Israel try and America to not to be involved in this conflict, like Hezbollah or Iran.
So a pretty tense 24 hours, obviously, ahead. Do stay with us, though, for the moment, Saeed, because I want to cross over to Gaza now and speak to Nala Shawa, who's the Regional Country Relations Manager for Oxfam in Gaza. She's currently one of the 1.1 million residents of Gaza who've been told to leave by Israel. Thank you very much for making the time to talk to us, Ms. Shawa. Can I get your reaction on the ground to this call from Israel for people to evacuate northern Gaza? How feasible is it even to do it within the deadline that's been set?
Hi. First of all, there's so much chaos in Gaza. We managed to leave at like 4:30 a.m. We are about 15 people here. We moved to another location south, and we think, basically now asking this question is clearly puts the reminder that Israel can do whatever it wants, and nobody can stop it. obviously. So the arrogance of Israel has been like that for decades. So obviously now it's happening again. And it's simply on the news, and everyone is watching while another catastrophe is actually taking place right now.
I know.
Everyone is in total panic, and everyone is leaving. You talk about kids, elderly, everyone. The roads are being bombed while we were traveling. Now there is bombing. I'm smelling smoke. What is this madness?
And we've, of course,
leaving northern Gaza and Gaza City to the south. What is it? What is the plan? And are we going to come back to any of our homes? When we were leaving, we were like just looking at things as if we're not going to see them again.
We have, of course, Nala, we have seen, of course, the devastating pictures coming out of Gaza. We know that hospitals are running out of crucial supplies. Electricity has been cut to many parts of the area. And if this evacuation order is to be followed, how feasible is it? How possible is it?
Of course, it's not feasible. And of course, you'll have hundreds, if not more, of casualties. And you'll have destruction. And then what? Bravo, Israel. Yeah, that's great. What is it that it's fighting here?
What do you think the timing of this order says about the Israeli military's approach to protecting civilians?
Yeah, moving, 1 million people to travel to the south during 1 million. You understand? You understand the figure. You're not talking about the neighborhood. So Israel started with a house, with a building, and with the neighborhood just 3 days ago and yesterday and the days before. Now it's like an entire region of the Gaza Strip, like maybe a third or more of the Gaza Strip area. Of course it's not feasible, but Israel can do whatever they want. Nobody's stopping them. No matter how I stream on the TV or how angry people are around the world, it's not going to make any difference, right? Because we are living by these double standards. Decade after decade, double standards. We are not seen as humans enough. We're not human enough. That's it. That's a fact of life.
As we're listening to you, Nala, we're seeing pictures coming in of fresh rocket fire, what appears to be fresh rocket fire over Gaza. The situation there, obviously, incredibly, unimaginably difficult for you and others who are living there. What's your message to the world leaders, Antony Blinken, the US Secretary of State, who's in the region right now, trying to find some kind of a diplomatic solution? What's your message to him and others?
To stop this madness and what I just mentioned. Stop living and practicing and imposing these double standards. Because we are also people. Reminder, we have been under occupation for 70 plus years. We are people and we are here. We have been here. We are suffering before October 7th, Palestinians in Gaza and in the West Bank. Israel, before October 7th, was living a normal life, not worrying about anything. Before October 7th, it was not the same case for Palestinians. You should be aware of that, and they are aware. That's why I'm not sure I even want to say that message to them. Do they really bother?
What are you going to do now, Nala? You're involved, obviously, in the humanitarian situation there. We've had this fresh warning coming from the Israeli military just in the last hour or so. How is it going to change your response today? Is it going to change the work you're going to be doing today?
The work that we are supposed to be doing is simply not feasible and not possible with the extent of destruction, with that there is no ceasefire, there is no humanitarian corridor, there is nothing. Nothing is even discussed or suggested. We just hear it in the media and discussions. That doesn't allow for any kind of response. So people are simply suffering and will continue to suffer. In displacement, in the areas they are in the schools or in the streets. Now it's going to be everywhere, not only in whatever designated schools. It's going to be everywhere. And yes, we are hearing about no water, no enough food, all these things. Now I'm bringing with me now to this place some water and some food, maybe for a couple of days. God knows until when are we going to be here for.
Okay.
And I am in a much better position than many others. So no, it's talking about response. Nobody is able to do anything.
Naila Shawa, we thank you for joining us. We thank you for giving us your time and wish you all the best for what's ahead of you in the days ahead. Thank you for joining us today on BBC News.